All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about something that anyone who's lived in Thailand for an extended period has to deal with.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And this is something that you don't want to put off. You want to stay on top of this. We're
Absolutely.
talking about renewing your Thai driver's license.
Your lifeline here, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. It
Yeah.
is really important to stay on top of it because there's a lot of, well, I guess consequences is a good word for it.
For sure.
But also your Thai driver's license is not only just for driving, it's like
Your ID.
it's your ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need it for everything.
Opening a bank account, renting an apartment,
Picking up packages.
picking up packages, all that.
So it's really, really important to keep it current.
Very important.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Right.
So when we're talking about Thai driver's licenses, let's just go over the types of licenses that there are, because there are a few.
Yeah.
There's the temporary one
Right.
and the 5-year.
Yeah.
And of course the international.
The international driving permit.
Yeah, so the temporary one, how long is that one good for?
That one's good for 2 years, and that's actually like a stepping stone for new drivers to get their 5-year license.
Oh, okay. So you can't just go in and get the 5-year right away.
Right. You have to start with that temporary license.
And then the IDP is good for if you are going to be driving in other countries.
That's right. And you have to renew that one every year.
Every single year.
Every year.
And it's also really important to remember, not all countries recognize an IDP.
Absolutely. You got to check the local regulations for every place that you're going to be driving.
Yeah. And so speaking of renewing, like when do you need to actually renew your Thai driver's license?
So you can actually renew it up to 6 months before it expires.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a good thing to know.
Yeah, that's nice.
So why not take advantage of that?
Yeah.
Avoid the stress of like waiting until the last minute.
Yeah. Definitely do it as soon as you can.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you do miss that 6-month window, there's still a process.
Yeah.
It's just, it can get a little bit more involved, depending on how long you wait.
Okay, so what happens if your license has been expired for less than a year?
Then it's a pretty straightforward process.
Okay.
Pretty simple renewal.
Okay, but what if it's been expired for, let's say, between 1 and 3 years?
Well, then you have to pass a written test.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you have to get like a 90%.
Wow. Okay, so you really got to study.
Yeah, you got to know your stuff.
And what about if it's been expired for more than 3 years?
You got to do retraining. You got to go back to driving school.
You got to go back to school.
Yeah, it's like starting all over again.
And then you also have to take the written test and a driving test.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
Wow. Okay, so definitely do not let it expire for over 3 years.
Definitely not.
What happens if you're caught driving with an expired license?
Oh, you're going to get hit with a fine for sure.
I actually knew somebody who let their license expire, and they didn't renew it. They thought it would be fine for a couple months.
Oh.
And they got pulled over at one of the routine checks.
Yeah.
And they got a big fine.
Ouch.
I don't remember how much it was, but I remember they were not happy about it.
Rightfully so.
So definitely don't do that.
Don't risk it.
Okay, so let's go over the required documents that you need to renew your license.
Okay.
You're obviously going to need your current driver's license.
Right.
And then for foreigners like us,
Yep.
you're going to need your passport with a non-immigrant visa and proof of residency, so like a work permit.
Right, and don't forget the medical certificate.
Oh, yeah, the medical certificate. That's important.
Yeah, that has to be issued within like the last month.
Oh, really? Within the last month. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to time that just
You
right.
got to be on top of it.
Wow. Okay. Are there any other kind of like pro tips that you can think of to make this whole process smoother?
Yeah, actually, one thing that I always recommend is to bring both original documents and photocopies.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah, better to be prepared.
And another thing, while we're talking about like saving time and hassle,
Yes.
you can download the DLT Smart Queue app.
What's that?
It's an app where you can book your appointment in advance.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, you can potentially avoid those long lines at the licensing office.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I knew about that last time I renewed my license.
It's a lifesaver.
So, okay, let's go over the actual renewal process.
Okay.
What are all the steps that you have to go through?
Okay, so first step, make sure you're eligible.
All right.
Sounds
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
But it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
Then you got to gather all your documents.
Okay, got it.
Then you got to go through the vision and reaction tests.
Oh, right.
So they make you do like a colorblind test, and they check your peripheral vision, and they test how fast you can hit the brakes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's like a little video game almost.
It is. It's fun,
Yeah.
but they're important, those tests. You know,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
it's all about safety. Yeah.
Making sure everyone's driving safely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after you pass those tests.
Then you submit your documents, pay the fees,
Okay.
and then the best part,
What's that?
The photo for your new license.
Oh, yes, the photo.
Always a good time.
You always look so good.
Yeah. You know, gotta love that license photo.
And just so people know, the fees do vary depending on what kind of license you're getting.
That's right. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about all the different aspects of getting your driver's license renewed in Thailand.
Yeah. It's quite the process.
But, it's all there for a reason.
It is.
It keeps the roads safe.
Exactly.
Is there anything else you want to add about it?
It's a pretty good system, but it does make you wonder, like, what if it could be even more accessible?
What do you mean?
Like, what if there was, like, a really user-friendly online system or even, like, mobile renewal units,
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
just to make things easier for everyone?
That would be awesome.
Just a thought. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Something to think about.
All right, well, I think that's all we have to cover today.
Yeah, I think we've covered it all.
So everybody check your expiration date on your Thai driver's license.
Yeah, and get your documents together.
And renew it before it's too late.
Don't wait till the last minute.
And as you're driving around, just think about what we were talking about. How can we encourage safer driving habits here?
Yeah, it's an important topic.
It is. So